Welcome everyone, I'm Alison with Continental Bead Suppliers. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're delighted to share two styles of stitch markers in this tutorial. Everybody seems to have a different preference, so there are no hard and fast rules. Knitters often prefer the jump ring style, which slips easily onto the needle, and the crochet folk seem to like the opening style of a lobster clasp. Stitch markers can be as plain or fancy as you like, so here's some ideas to get you going. Let's begin. To create 5 stitch markers for knitting, we'll be using 5 1.5 inch head pins. They're 24 gauge. The part number is H/P1.5. We'll be using 5 8mm 18 gauge jump rings. The part number is J/R8. These will fit up to a 4mm knitting needle. Check our website if you would like to see other sized rings to accommodate larger needles. We'll be using 5 8 to 10mm beads of your choice. The only thing that you need to check with this is the hole on the bead. Just make sure that the head pin doesn't go all the way through. If you find it does, because they're quite small heads on these, just add a little seed bead to the end of the head pin, so that'll stop this main bead from falling off. Tools are 1 pair of chain nose pliers, 1 pair of round nose pliers, 2 pairs of flat nose pliers, a flush cutter. This is really a super simple little project. We're going to begin by threading on one of the beads to the head pin, and we'll create a wrapped loop. So let's move some of these things out of the way. So wrapped loops, we're going to take the tip of the plier, just place the wire in just a little amount there like that. Push the wire away from you 90 degrees. Swap up to the round nose pliers, and I'm just going in about 1/4 inch, perhaps a little bit less, up over the top till the wire touches the bead. Quarter turn the plier, send the wire out to the back, so it's kind of sitting like that. I remove my plier now and go across the loop, just placing the loop into the chain nose pliers, and use my round nose pliers to wrap this wire around, heading down towards the bead. Keep a good grasp on it. Just until you feel there's no movement in the bead going up and down. Take the flush cutters and trim this little tail off. Yeah, that flew somewhere. Then just take the chain nose pliers, and if there was any spring back, just give this a little nudge in. You just want to be cautious with this type of thing. You don't want to have any bits that are going to catch on the textile, so just make sure that it's tucked in nicely. So we'll do that with the other 4 beads. It's really a super fast little project. They make such great gifts for knitters. So again, up over the top till the wire touches the bead, quarter turn, send the wire out the back, go over the loop with your chain nose pliers. Each wrap should follow the previous one, and working your way down to the bead, it just looks so much neater when wire isn't all on top of itself. Trim that off. Again, tuck anything in. So I'll continue with the other 3 beads and then I'll come back. Here I am just finishing off the last wrap loop. Let's just, I think they look so sweet. So just around a little bit further. There we go. Trim that off. So the next thing we will do is to add the 8mm jump rings. So I'm just going to use my flat nose pliers for that. I can actually open these up first and then it'll go a little bit quicker. So let's add this first bead here. Close that up, make sure it's closed properly so that the little wrap loop doesn't inadvertently slide out. We'll just do the same for the remaining 4 beads. Just watch your pliers don't slip. Whoops, that one doesn't want to go in. There we go. Close that one up. The red one. Last one. Five cute little stitch markers for knitting. To create 5 stitch markers for crochet, we'll be using 5 1.5 inch 24 gauge head pins. The part number is H/P1.5. 5 links of our Pignose Mariner chain. The part number is CH-942. We're going to be separating this chain into 5 individual links. 5 12x7 lobster clasps. The part number is C902. 10 6mm 21 gauge jump rings. Part number is JR6. We'll be using 5 8mm beads, or any other bead that you have that you feel you'd like to work with that will also be good with this 1.5 inch. So as I say, these ones are 8mm. 1 pair of chain nose pliers, 1 pair of round nose pliers, 2 pairs of flat nose pliers, 1 flush cutter. I'm going to begin by separating the links in this chain so that we've got some individual pieces to work with. So we'll just be finding the opening on these connector parts here. I'm just separating everything up. We can perhaps save these for another project, so we'll just set them to one side. Take all of this off. Last one. So there's our 5 pretty links. We're going to now take the head pins and make 5 wrapped loops with these beads. One thing again just to remember is this is quite a small head on the head pin, so you may need to add a little seed bead or something if the hole on the bead is enough that the head pin would go through, but these ones are actually fine, so I'm going to go ahead and make my wrap loops again. So just the tip of the chain nose plier, push the wire away, create a nice loop up over the top until the wire touches the bead, quarter turn the plier, take that wire straight out the back. Chain nose plier goes over the loop. We'll wrap the wire around here. So we're working down towards the bead. So it's usually 3 or 4 wraps just to get down so there's no movement up and down in the bead. So there we go. Again, make sure that any spring back is tucked in so that it doesn't get caught on the yarn. Let's continue on. I sometimes have too many pliers in my hand, but you see how I sometimes work. So another wrap loop. Up over the top. Take the wire to the back. Over the loop, across the loop. And then start wrapping down towards the bead. So from directly underneath the loop down towards the bead. And you can see how each wrap is just following the previous one. It's nice and snug. So let me put that back to the regular. And trim this off, just tuck the little bit in there. So I'll do these other 3 and come back. Now we're going to open a 6mm jump ring and attach one of our wrap loops to it, and then to one of the links on the Pignose Mariner chain. And we'll do this for the remaining 4. So it's going to be sitting like that. So we'll just work our way through these ones. Again, it's important to make sure that the jump rings are closed all the way so that the fine gauge of the wire for the wrap loops doesn't inadvertently slip through. So you can sometimes just almost hear a little clicking noise with as the metal comes together. Do the 3rd one. Again, super fast little project. They make such great gifts as well. 3. Last one. Now we're going to be attaching the lobster claws. So we'll take the first component piece that we've made here, take another 6mm ring, open this up. So we're going on to this other end with the jump ring and then attaching the lobster claw, and close up the ring. So that's the first little stitch marker done. So we'll carry on with these other 4. And here we have the 5 little crochet stitch markers. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video and will give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell to receive more great content. Have you ever wondered about building a drop shipping business with continental beads? Check the links below for drop shipping information or contact us at www.continentalbeads.com. We're excited to speak with you and help you grow your business. See you next time.